Project New Orleans, IPNO, as we're known, was founded in 2001. They were serious lawyers who were working on incredibly hard cases and winning and getting people free. And factually innocent people free.
When I was 19, I was arrested in Portland, Oregon, and extradited to Louisiana, to New Orleans to stand trial for first-degree murder, a crime that I didn't commit. And I was sentenced to spend the rest of my life in prison. While in prison, I became a jailhouse lawyer. And it was several of us that was innocent, but we didn't have anybody to help us. Louisiana position was that people at the post-conviction stage should not receive a lawyer. One of the biggest hurdles was us getting our records. Before IPNO, we would write organizations in Virginia, New York, just about anybody that we thought would help us. Writing letters to the district attorney's office, writing letters to the police department, same people that prosecuted us. I used to file motions to try to get access to my records. It's like in 2001, Emily Bolton came to Angola. She was a third-year law student at Tulane University, and she promised that once she graduated that she would actually come help us. And that's how the Innocence Project New Orleans was formulated. They spent a lot of time investigating my case, obtaining documents that actually proved my innocence. Without IPNO, I know I would not be out of prison. And I know the cases that I worked on, them guys would still be in prison as well.
The Innocence Project New Orleans is the premier organization in Louisiana that takes on the difficult task of identifying wrongful convictions, developing cases, putting together all of the resources that are necessary to challenge wrongful convictions, and not only wrongful convictions, but unjust sentences.
So I got out January the 7th, 2011, and one of the things I knew what I wanted to do was to help the people that I left behind. I'm happy that people that's innocent getting some help, but how about the people that's not factual innocent, but they didn't have fair trials? Those people got to spend the rest of their life in prison.
And we as a state are addicted to incarceration. We just love locking people up. And it's for all the wrong reasons. When we think about what incarceration should be doing, theoretically, it should be holding people accountable, it should be promoting public safety, but we don't have that. We know that Louisiana has had the highest incarceration rate for many, many, many years, but we're not the safest state in the country.
People are sentenced to life in prison for nonviolent crimes in Louisiana all the time, for drug offenses, for burglaries where no one is harmed. There was an entire population of people, a lot of people at Angola in our state prisons who were not getting representation because their cases have ended, despite the fact that maybe their sentence was legal, but that still didn't make it fair or justified. Because I had this funder who was willing to support this new project, we launched the Unjust Punishment Project. And then we soon got a lot of other clients.
I got caught selling drugs to an undercover officer, pled guilty, and I got 4 life sentences. I always looked at it like I didn't kill anybody. It was like, 4 life sentences. So when I was in Angola, I received a letter from Innocence Project New Orleans. I was like literally fixing to throw it in the trash. And my friend said, won't you just open it up and read it? And I was like, I'm not innocent. He said, man, just read the letter. So I opened it up, and the letter asked me to fill out a questionnaire, and I filled it out. And everything was great after that. They get involved in your case, it's more than likely, something's gonna happen for you. Every week I would get a Zoom visit or somebody would come see me. And it was parole prep. They did a wonderful job with it. I thought that when they were done, they were gonna be gone. But they don't leave. They're always calling to check on me, make sure everything is going right, just helping any way they can to make sure you succeed. Just because you make a mistake, you deserve a second chance. Some people do change and they just need an opportunity.
It's a system of corrections. It should not be a system of condemnation. And whether someone is exonerated or whether someone has served out their sentence, when we let go of redemption, when we let go of second chances, we take away hope. And that's why the work that Innocence Project New Orleans does is so crucial. They give people hope. You know, they give folks a lifeline.
We decided to rebrand because the Unjust Punishment Project had brought home almost 30 individuals, and we wanted them to understand and feel like they were part of our community, right? That we were not just focused on factual innocence work, but we are actually focused on them too. But every time we went through the list and brainstormed, we came back always to this concept of justice.
Everybody should have a definition of justice, their own personal definition of justice. Mine is the currency that we spend to repair harm. And so what are we spending to repair harm, not only for survivors of crime, but what are we spending to repair harm for people who've been wrongly convicted, who have been overpunished, who have been thrown into a criminal legal system that is not worthy of its name. We don't say criminal justice system because it is a system that lacks justice.
When we were in the various board meetings, we was discussing the name change and the rebrand. It's like, oh, you know, we're always using the word justice. What does justice really mean? Justice can be relative, depending on how you look at it or who you are. But that ampersand, that and, is really the highlight, because that's where the impact is. That is all the other work, the advocacy, right, around reentry, around how it impacts families, getting people back home, the policy work, the litigation work, the work that investigators do. All of those pieces that may go unnoticed, but they're all under the umbrella of justice.
The ampersand, the and really captures that we are more than innocence now, that we have fully stepped beyond innocence, and that we are working to dismantle the entire system. Adding Louisiana to our name was really important. We're a state in which resources and opportunities were really limited for Black families, Black people. It is not surprising that in our state, the vast majority, a disproportionate number of people who are in prison are Black men and Black women. Not only that, a disproportionate number of those individuals serving the most excessive, harsh punishment also are Black men and Black women. Because we have this incredibly racialized history in Louisiana, no one should feel comfortable punishing people the way we do here. Despite the fact that we do work in other parishes and other jurisdictions, because we're located in New Orleans, recognizing that there is potential for community building around these issues in other parishes was really important.
Injustice knows no borders. We have 64 parishes. The amount of injustice that is taking place in this state cannot solely be represented by working in New Orleans.
I want to be in a place in our state where we have shifted away from the draconian laws that put people at risk of being wrongfully incarcerated or unjustly punished, and that we have embraced more restorative justice policies. I want the community, the advocacy community, the philanthropic community, the business community, to recognize the importance of why we have to invest in Innocence and Justice Louisiana, because we are all connected.
Justice and fairness.
Hope and commitment.
Accountability and understanding.
Mercy and grace.
Redemption and second chances.
Joy and repair.
Innocence and justice.
Innocence and justice.
Louisiana.
Louisiana.